Nationwide ongoing conditional ban extended till 6 a.m. on April 14 to curb the spread of coronavirus. Common people reluctant to obey health and hygiene rules. Government to enforce strict lockdown from April 14, says Road Transport and Bridges Minister Obaidul Qadir. Record 78 deaths registered from coronavirus in the country in 24 hours. Second dose of vaccine rollout continues. Vaccines to be imported from China and Russia also. Number of corona infection cases rising globally. Curfew imposed in several countries to prevent infection in addition to lockdown. And Real Madrid beat Barcelona by 2-1 goals to go to the top of Spanish La Liga points table. Assalamu alaikum. This is Shamim Khan, welcoming you all to the 10 o'clock bulletin on BTV, BTV World and BTV Chattogram Center. Those were the headlines. We now move on to the news and details. In order to prevent the spread of coronavirus, the prevailing lockdown or conditional ban on overall activities and public movement has been extended till 6 a.m. on April 14. The information was given in a notification from the Cabinet Division today. All concerned senior secretaries and secretaries are requested to take necessary steps in this regard, the notification added. Meanwhile, strict restrictions are prevailing across the country to keep the people safe from corona pandemic. Although hygiene is maintained at shopping malls, it is absent at mass transports, kitchen markets and public places. People's reluctance is the main cause of spreading corona pandemic. Conscious people think there is no alternative to maintain health safety guidelines to decrease the rapid rise of corona infection. Awami League General Secretary Obaidul Qadir has said the country will see an all-out lockdown from April 14. Obaidul Qadir was briefing journalists at his official residence today. He called upon all to stay at home unless emergency services are needed for the sake of greater interest.
আমরা স্পষ্টভাবে বলতে চাই প্রথম ধাপে যা বা চলমান লকডাউনে ধারাবাহিকতা চলবে 13 তারিখ পর্যন্ত এরপর এপ্রিল মাসের 14 তারিখ থেকে সর্বাত্মক লকডাউন আগামীকাল সোমবার এবং পরশু মঙ্গলবার যথারীতি শুধুমাত্র দেশের সিটি কর্পোরেশন এলাকায় শর্ত সাপেক্ষে সমন্বিত ভার অর্ধেক আসন খালি রেখে গণপরিবহন চলবে এবং দূরপাল্লার যাত্রী পরিবহন বন্ধ থাকবে পরবর্তী নির্দেশ না দেওয়া পর্যন্ত
Earlier, Road Transport and Bridges Minister Obaidul Qadir joined the program virtually to hand over 3 crore taka gratuity among 242 officials and employees of Bangladesh Road Transport Corporation BRTC. At that time, responding to journalists, Obaidul Qadir says those who changed the legs of history, their faces have now been uncovered. That is why they have been desperate and started old games and undemocratic practices.
নেতারা বলছেন আওয়ামী লীগ নাকি নিজস্ব ইতিহাস তৈরি করছে আওয়ামী লীগের নিজস্ব ইতিহাস তৈরি কোনো কারখানা নেই আওয়ামী লীগ বাংলাদেশের স্বাধীনতার ইতিহাস তথা মুক্তিযুদ্ধের ইতিহাসের মীমাংসিত সত্যের প্রতি শ্রদ্ধাশীল এবং এর চর্চা ও অনুসরণ করে থাকে তারা ইতিহাসের ফুটনোটকে ইতিহাসে নায়ক বানাতে চেয়েছিল কিন্তু ইতিহাস চলে নিজস্ব গতিতে
Bangladesh today recorded 78 novel coronavirus deaths, the highest number in a single day, while 5,819 fresh cases were reported during the period. Directorate General of Health Services DGHS said in its daily statement that the tally of infections has surged to 684,756. A total of 78 COVID-19 deaths toll increased to 9,739. It said 19.81% of the 29,376 samples collected in 24 hours were tested positive. The recovery count rose to 5,76,590 after another 4,212 patients were discharged from the hospitals during the past one day. It said 47 out of the 78 died in Dhaka division alone, and 53 of them were male, while 25 were women. Second dose of corona vaccination program is going on across the country to face rapid rise of corona infection. A large number of people thronged at the vaccination centers in the capital to take the second dose of corona vaccine today. The vaccination program starts at 9 a.m. and it is continued till 2 p.m. except on Fridays. People who have taken second dose vaccine today expressed their satisfaction after successful first dose vaccination. Meanwhile, the government is working to bring 80% people of the country under vaccination program. It is trying to bring corona vaccine from China and Russia besides India. Experts said government's effort to bring corona situation under control is obviously a proud matter of the government. Experts urge the people to maintain health safety guidelines besides taking first and second dose corona vaccine to tackle the second wave of corona pandemic. A seminar titled Army Chiefs Conclave, with participation of local and foreign civil and military personalities, was held today at Dhaka Cantonment, organized by Bangladesh Army. Foreign Minister Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen was present as chief guest. Bangladesh Army Chief General Aziz Ahmed and Indian Army Chief General Manoj Mukunda Narabhane, among others, spoke. The Foreign Minister says the dignity of Bangladesh has been increased in the international arena for its successful participation in the UN peace mission. The role of Bangladesh is now an example in establishing world peace, he added. The visiting Deputy Chief of Operations of Bhutanese Royal Army, Brigadier General Dorji Rinchen, laid deep tribute at the Eternal Flame in Dhaka Cantonment this morning in commemoration of the martyrs of Great Liberation War of Bangladesh. He signed the visitor's book kept there. Later, the United Nations Multi-Dimensional Integrated Stabilization Mission in Mali MINUSMA and UNMISS force commanders placed wreaths at the Eternal Flame of Dhaka Cantonment to show respect to the martyred heroes of Liberation War of Bangladesh. Now, international news. COVID-19 global death toll crosses 29,42,000 as more than 13,615 people died yesterday globally. More than 13 crore 62,81,000 have been infected globally, and more than 10 crore 95,94,000 recovered so far. Meanwhile, Brazil has now 1 crore 34,45,000 confirmed cases and 3,51,469 deaths. The country reported 2,535 deaths yesterday. The U.S. has now 3 crore 18,70,000 confirmed cases and 5,75,593 deaths. India has now 1 crore 33,58,000 confirmed cases and 1,69,305 deaths. Activists said more than 80 people have been killed by Myanmar security forces in a crackdown on a protest in the city of Bago. The military is reported to have taken away the bodies of those killed, and the true number of deaths may never be accurately established. Witnesses told local media that soldiers had used heavy weapons and had shot at anything that moved. The latest killings in Bago near the main city of Yangon are reported to have happened on Friday, but took a whole day to emerge as many residents were forced to flee to nearby villages. More than 600 people have been killed since last month's military coup. Monitoring Group, the Assistance Association for Political Prisoners AAPP, said the actual number of deaths was likely to be much higher. There has been another explosive event at a volcano on the Caribbean island of St. Vincent, with power outages and water supplies cut off. The La Soufriere volcano first erupted on Friday, blanketing the island in a layer of ash and forcing some 16,000 people to evacuate their homes. Residents in Barbados, nearly 200 kilometers to the east, have also been urged to stay indoors. White-colored dust has covered buildings and roads around the island, including in its capital, Kingstown. Scientists warn that eruptions could continue for days or even weeks. Eminent Rabindra Sangeet singer and Ekushe Padak recipient Mita Haq was buried at a family graveyard after Namaz-e-Janaza in Keranganj this afternoon. She breathed her last at a specialized hospital in Dhaka early this morning. She was 59. Mita Haq was admitted to the hospital and receiving treatment after being detected COVID-19 positive. 4 days ago, she was released from the hospital when she was diagnosed corona negative. But all of a sudden, she again became sick and then was admitted to the hospital. She was also suffering from kidney diseases. President Mohammad Abdul Hamid and Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina expressed deep shock and sorrow at the death of Mita Haq. They prayed for eternal peace of the departed soul and conveyed deep sympathy to the bereaved family. Besides, Awami League General Secretary Obaidul Qadir, Information and Broadcasting Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood, Science and Technology Minister Architect Yafis Usman, and State Minister for Cultural Affairs K.M. Khalid also condoled the death of Mita Haq. Now news on sports. Real Madrid climbed to the top of La Liga after Karim Benzema's flicked finish helped them claim a thrilling, while Liverpool beat Aston Villa by 2-1 and Chelsea outplayed Crystal Palace by 4-1 goals in the English Premier League football. In French League, Paris Saint-Germain PSG beat Strasbourg by 4-1. Sunrisers Hyderabad are now batting against Kolkata Knight Riders to chase a victory target of 188 runs in IPL cricket in Chennai. Sunrisers Hyderabad scored 10 runs for 1 wicket in 2 overs when reports last came in. Earlier, Kolkata Knight Riders batted first and scored 187 runs for 6 in the stipulated 20 overs. Nitish Rana scored 80 runs for Kolkata. And now, to end the bulletin, a recap of the top stories. Nationwide ongoing conditional ban extended till 6 a.m. on April 14 to curb the spread of coronavirus. Common people reluctant to obey health and hygiene rules. Government to enforce strict lockdown from April 14, says Road Transport and Bridges Minister Obaidul Qadir. Record 78 deaths registered from coronavirus in the country in 24 hours. Second dose of vaccine rollout continues. Vaccines to be imported from China and Russia also. Number of corona infection cases rising globally. Curfew imposed in several countries to prevent infection in addition to lockdown. And Real Madrid beat Barcelona by 2-1 goals to go to the top of Spanish La Liga points table. And that's all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you indeed for joining us, and we invite you to watch 11:30 Bangla News. Until then, Khuda Hafiz.